Thank you, Dawn. That was beautiful. Very appreciated. There are a lot of hurt people out there, and this is the Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families. We are here as parent advocates to help parents who are in pain and lost without their children. Um, we want to bring this focus to the forefront of the mission to create a better world, because this is for our children and our grandchildren. And right now, there is a war going on out there where parents are being discriminated against for being different, and children are being targeted for having differences. And then some of them are being kidnapped because of medical quirks that they may have that can be used as lab rats than these children. And we are seeing this more and more every day, and it breaks my heart to see it. It broke my heart to lose my own children, and I am still fighting for their return. But, there's a bigger issue here that we're building a foundation for our children and our children's children, and for healing of all of people and all of life on earth, so that we can have that beautiful world that we believe is right there, right within our reach. It is, when we work together. So I'm glad that all of you have come. Thank you, Doran, again, for that moving meditation. It is about being healed within, being centered within, and being able to express what we have learned through our own trials and our own pain. And that's part of the healing. And so I want to thank Carla and Ryan and Mim and Doran for all joining tonight on our Parent Advocate Network meeting. And I'm going to pass the talking stick to Ryan, because he was the next one on. Ryan, you there?
I'm here. I kept getting kicked off.
That's terrible. So tell me.
So I kept having to log back in. I'm going to say hi to Carla and everybody else. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. So there's not much going on. I've just been busy. Super busy guy. Started working on some things for Marissa Hamilton. So it's good. It's keeping me busy. It's keeping me occupied, which, I really needed to, kind of like a distraction, but at the same time helping me heal, do what's right. Get a little crazy every now and then, but it is what it is, right? Oh, I can't hear you.
Yes, it is what it is.
I just see you nodding.
Yep. Well,
so, yeah.
It's good to keep, doing whatever we can. I found out that NBC in the Bay Area is starting to do an investigation into CPS and Superior Court corruption. And so I've been sending that out for people here in California to participate in. And so there is more and more media sources that are out there starting to see what's going on and starting to come in and investigate foster care homes where children are being beaten and killed. They're investigating CPS now here in California, which is finally, but we need to be getting this going nationwide. And then,
oh yeah, well, the ACLU is starting to investigate gag orders in various states, so that's a constitutional violation. So we're starting to move forward. I'm wondering if some of what's going on has to do with the the rising of the people. it had to happen, to be honest. Otherwise, yeah, I think we would still be. If people don't speak up, they don't get their voices heard. They don't. Things don't change unless we, the people, speak up. And I have this catchphrase that, well, I don't even know if it's a catchphrase. It's just something I was taught in school, and I use it now. And um, we are the rightful masters of our government, and we need to put them in check, not. And then I started looking at, trying to get legislation passed, and that works to an extent, but unless you have the voices behind it to make it work, it doesn't work. Does that make sense? Did you hear me, Carla? I mean, not Carla, Lyra.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. It was just a little garbled there. But it's great to hear that the ACLU is looking into the gag orders going all over the country regarding this. And I hope that we can just keep on making noise. I mean, we just have to keep on making noise in this battle that we're in. And I don't like calling it a battle. I like to call it a campaign, because battle has a negative inflection to it. And we're trying to transmute bad or negative pathways into positive pathways. And so that's why I keep on talking like that.
Correct. I find myself starting to catch people and be like, trying to put them in, because I ran in, not that I'm the most positive person, everybody knows that, but I ran into like where somebody just wants to repeatedly tell their story and complain continuously, and I've had to redirect them and tell them, you need to look at the solutions, not the problem, because you know what the problem is, but unless you're going to take action towards the solution, then you're just bitching. If you're going to bitch to bitch, hey, but there's a difference between bitching and taking action. So you can bitch and take action, and you're moving more into positive action. And eventually you've watched me grow tremendously, Lyra. I'll bitch, and then I grow, and then I bitch, and then I grow, and it's getting less and less, and it's getting easier and easier for me. And I see myself wanting to incorporate more of the positive into what I'm doing. I don't see myself wanting to focus as much on the problem now and I see myself reversing and wanting to focus more on the positive now. And I'm trying to bring parents to that point, and it can be frustrating. It can be very frustrating, because I want to focus on the solution, not the continual problem. And the continual problem is the system continuously violates your rights, continuously hurts your children, violates their rights. We already know this is going on. So it's okay to bitch and whine and moan, but if you're not going to take the action to help be part of the solution, then you can't keep repeating yourself. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does. It does indeed, Ryan. Thank you. Now, Carla, you came tonight, and I'm very glad that you came tonight. I have had a few questions regarding the great jury, and I would like to have you please explain it a little bit better for those parents who are still a little confused. I got it. All right, Carla, hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure if there's too much going on in the background. My children are watching TV. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, you're doing fine. Thanks, Carla.
Okay, what would you like to know?
Well, one parent was asking about what exactly the information that she's supposed to provide for the great jury to look at on her, in her defense or on her claims of civil rights violations.
Okay, well, now we have to go past the civil rights violations.
Okay.
Because what the court is looking at is actually human rights violations, not civil rights. Human rights is actually, that's universal. And what it takes to actually, well, I mean, there's two different things. You can be a member, a part of the great jury, and actually hear cases. There's no cost to be a member of the jury. And I was told on our last meeting that the names of the members of the great jury will be held confidential. Those names of the people that serve on the jury will not be released to the public. They have right now, from what I understand, there's approximately about 100 cases waiting to be heard. In order for your case to be heard, it's pretty simple. It doesn't cost a thing to present your case before the court. All it takes is an affidavit, which of course would be like the timeline of events that happened in your particular situation. The affidavit would have to be notarized. And then, of course, you would submit the evidence that proves your innocence of the allegations that CPS, DCS, or whatever it's called in your state is false. And that's pretty much the gist of it, Lyra.
Thank you, Carla. And just to be clear, this is through the United Nations, right?
No, it's not through the United Nations. Excuse me, just a moment.
That's all right.
I meant to hit my mute button. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't cough in anybody's ear. No, it's actually through, it is through the Human Rights Tribunal, which is underneath, well, they're incorporated into the United States of America 1781. This organization, the United States of America 1781, has actually taken what we call it's kind of hard to explain, but it's a vacant office that they assumed, and they're first in time, first in right, and they're considered to be an international court. The great thing about being on the great jury or even presenting your case, if you want to be a member of the great jury, say for example, there's a case being heard in Arizona, in our state, the members of the jury do not have to physically live in that state in order to be a member. So there's no geographical boundaries to be a member of the jury. And the same goes for if you present your case to the jury. There is no geographical boundaries. This is an international court. So they have jurisdiction everywhere within the United States. And of course they operate in other countries too. I can't remember exactly what countries they don't operate in. I would have to look that up.
And is it true that the great jurors are going to look at the evidence remotely, or are they required to appear in a specific location?
No, they would meet in a room like we're meeting in right now. I guess you call it a virtual room. And they have a prosecutor. So the prosecutor would present the case. If need be, there would be testimony given by we'll call them plaintiffs. And then, of course, any witnesses that want to come forward on that particular case.
Okay. So and those witnesses can also be through virtual conferencing.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
That makes it
Yeah.
a lot less complicated for a lot of people who are wanting to get involved in this. Now, is there a cutoff day for people to submit their affidavits?
For their cases to be heard?
Yes.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
There's no cutoff date. We're waiting, you know, I'm still trying to put together the great jury, and we don't have as many members as we need right now to even start to hear the cases.
And you need 100 members, or how many members?
No, we need at least 25. We need 25 people to serve on the jury for any particular case.
Okay. Yes, Dawn. You wanted to say something?
See the source, all the tons of missions that are all linked together. You know, New Earth Nations, one all council just to address, you know, personal things. Maybe our core group would like to step it up and act on the highest level. And I don't know, just connected to so many people. So I just don't know what the ITNJ needs. So if I knew what the ITNJ needs, I could start to help with that in any area.
Okay, so apparently what we're looking for is we're looking for great jury members to be a part of this Human Rights Tribunal. The Human Rights Tribunal would then be in charge of discerning the human rights violations of parents all across the country. And then oh, and Carla says she couldn't hear everything you said, and I couldn't either. It was a little garbled. We have to be sure to put ourselves on mute when another person is talking, and that way it's better. But there was something else you said that I didn't get. It was at the beginning when you started talking, and I think that's where the garbled went.
Oh, okay. Well, I could help the ITNJ find these people. I can help with anything the ITNJ, you know, has that is needed. So connected to so many leaders that are working on the planetary shift on this planet, and it's so important. Honestly, I think Lyra would be the #1 choice for this issue, and we need people that are passionate about children, about families, about the soils and the earth and the oceans, and you know, we need people that are passionate about, you know, homes for all, passionate about all the different areas, healthy food, clean drinking water, divine education, returning everywhere, you know, like the whole, you know, free energy. People are passionate about all the areas to be on this council and to attack the root causes of the problems head on, like with like dragon fire energy, you know, willing to do the research and gather the teams and figure out what the best actions way is to go forward with each issue. Everything from child trafficking to homelessness to poverty to disease to energy, you know, the wrong uses of energies and resources to everything that's wrong with the world is a simple solution when a core group of a jury member and a committee for those each issue or whatnot comes together and takes a targeted action and goes forward and addresses it. We are global, we're universal, we're omniversal. So we are changing everything into the highest divine blueprint. And the only thing left to do is to take some action to move things forward. This house of cards is ready to fall. yeah, we're in exciting times, and anything you need to help with, I can be contacted. I'll put my cell phone here. If there's certain people, certain types of people you need, or there's a certain project that's needing some support, I would love to help find those people and focus the actions and get the support resources for everything to move forward. Because I see a world in which there's ITNJs or courts, common law, universal law courts everywhere around the planet. And we've got one big one here, and I'm sure there's other big ones around the planet. So we need a network of those, and then we need to start getting into having those councils, court councils in every continent, and then make sure we have them in every country, and then make sure that we have them in every state. And I can use social media and do that like within a week. Make sure it's in every single state on the planet and get down to the city level. So we basically just need the village in every town, and we need the global village reconnected. And the court system and council is the way to do it. Everything else is flowing. And I'm kind of fed up with any excuses. So I want to see this happen, and everything should shift very fast when we get a handle on our own court systems and our own police systems and our own education and our own health systems and everything. We step into sovereignty as creators in every aspect of our life, and there's no one above us. So we need to act like it, and it's time. So yeah, that's my thing.
Thank you, Dawn. And you're right, we do need to have tribunal councils in every country, and there are lots and lots of child trafficking going on all over the world. So this is kind of a breeding ground, I think, or a testing ground for this particular tribunal. Thank you, Carla. Nim, I think you're next. Nim, are you there?
Barely. I apologize. I'm so tired. My house is just spotless. It's absolutely immaculate, and I couldn't be more pleased with it right now. And I'm making some oatmeal, and I'm here, and I'm listening, and I'm taking everything in. Oh man, I have so much that I could talk about. I'm not quite prepared to talk about it just yet. I've witnessed a lot of stuff. I've witnessed a lot of stuff. And thankfully I was always put in positions to where I didn't witness as much as I could have witnessed. But I've just, man, Louisiana, I tell you, it's very, very, not so much anymore, thankfully, but very, very well known for trafficking, period, of any kind. Drugs, children, women, men, there's just a lot of trafficking here of all kinds, and they've actually really really gotten a pretty decent grip on it. But there's just a lot that I'm not sure how to go about talking about it. So and I actually spoke with I call him my mentor / man. I spoke with my mentor / man the other night, and I really just broke down and just really cried and cried and cried, because it just hit me all at once how many times I could have been dead by now, and how I was just always that female that was in the group where everybody was like, don't touch her, don't put your hands on her, man. And nobody did. Not everybody, did that. I did get beat several times, but that's okay. It could have been a lot worse in many situations. I just know the full spectrum. I know the country boys, I know the thugs. Oh man, there's just so much. And it's like every time I listen to any of these calls, I can just put myself right in the middle of all of it, literally right in the middle of all of it. And I'm lucky I didn't go to jail for the rest of my life a couple times. It's just rough. It's really rough. And, you know, I I actually have gotten to a point to where when I really just kind of sit and think about things, I really laugh a lot, believe it or not. I know right now, like, I apologize in advance for my fatigue. I'm really lagging here, but you know, I've really gotten to a place where I can laugh about it, and I've started to have more and more people come into contact with me just by what Standard would say chance. And they're like, God, that just reminds me of me so much. And, you know, it's just so horrible. And they're just like apologizing. And I'm like, man, look, one of these days, you're really just going to be able to laugh at all that. And they're like, no, that's impossible. And I'm like, no, it's really not, because I tried to be jaded for so long. And I really have gotten a more clear picture of why. I jaded myself. You know, I had the mask on, I had the mask off. And man, it's just it's a lot. And a lot of people want to say, you know, conspiracy this and conspiracy that, and it's not. It's not. It's the truth. So anyway, I'm here. I'm exhausted. I'm glad to be here. Doran just like hacked my phone basically with the program and like called me out of nowhere, and I was like, what? And it said, Lyra, I guess you did, and Doran was talking, so I guess Lyra, you're the one that that called me. And I was sitting here
Yeah, the guilty
with a
charge.
couple with a couple of Doran taught you how to do it though, but I was sitting here with a couple of my friends. One of them mowed my grass. I think he just mowed my front yard for me today, but I was sitting there talking, and it just completely just caught me off guard. So that was amusing. I enjoyed that. That was probably my high point for the evening.
Yeah.
Because I look terrible. I look great, but I look terrible. I'm just dragging, and it was like, bam, face on the camera. So awesome. Well done. It's all about like transparency and just being who you are, you know, and I'm just really grateful that we have this. I really am. And I think I foresee everybody getting new equipment so our signals are better, and so they're not so easily distorted by other electromagnetical or man-made created electrical currents. I see that happening very, very soon. So I think it's just important for all of us to really be patient with the technology. You know, I think it's important for everybody to be patient with each other, be patient with ourselves. You know, who was speaking? Was it Carla? I'm not sure who was speaking a moment ago. I believe it may have been Carla. Yeah, it was, of the human rights. And that was something that I wanted to bring up because, you know, a lot of the stereotype that is embedded in the subconscious, especially in this area, is women and children, women and children, women and children. And, you know, it's like, okay, so what about the fathers? What about the other parts of the family? But I just have this affinity for the fathers in these situations, which is just so ironic. It really is. But, I really think that's going to be a big part of how we are able to gather the masses on this, is if we all keep in mind that the main parties that like are always just shunned and pushed to the side, this is what I see in the South primarily, are the fathers. You know, father of my children. I kind of told you guys how that all went down, and his girlfriend and him actually spotted me and my son walking on Father's Day. So I knew a prayer of his had been answered. And so I spoke with his girlfriend. I did not speak with him, but, you know, I told him, I said, look, you know, I don't want to take the kids from you. I don't want your money. I want you to use your money to fix yourself. If I can fix myself, you can fix yourself. And I just want you to get your life together, you know, because the kids need you, you need the kids. And a lot of women who have been beaten, you know, this is the man that caused me 6.5 hours of reconstructive surgery on my face 2 years ago. So, you know, a lot of women who have been through that are still so stuck on just victim. And it's not that it's not okay to be or feel or play the role of a victim, that's not okay. It's necessary. It's part of the healing process. But I personally, when I found that I got stuck on victim mentality, I was the victim, just always. It didn't matter. Even if I really wasn't, I believed that about myself. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think that's probably going to be the last thing I speak on, but I think it's something that it's really important that we speak on also, are self-fulfilling prophecies. You know, it's real. I've done it. I've experienced it. And that's going to be really difficult. This is going to be, I believe, one of the most difficult in bonding the pieces of the puzzle back together, are these women who have been victims of extreme abuse, just not by one man, by multiple men. You know, for a long time, I'll say this in closing, for a long time, I could only view a man as a money sign or sex. Those were my two. When I saw a man, that was it. Money, sex. That's all I could think about. And that was a really, really hard pattern for me to break with that lifestyle. And so I know personally, coming out of that, that's a lot of money, you know, and that's part of what pulls you into all of that. And it's the hardest thing I've ever had to recover from, was like getting out of the victim, money, sex view of the man-woman relationship. It's really, really difficult. So, but I'm down, I'm ready. I've been through it. I lived through it. I didn't live through all that for no reason. I'm here. I'm exhausted. I love you guys. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, ma'am. And you brought up some very good points. I was also a victim for a very long time. And now when somebody asks me if I am a victim, I look at them and I say, no, I'm a veteran of abuse, because I have gone through it. I am still alive. It was a battle that I overcame. And now I can use the information and knowledge and experience of that time to become an empowered woman that can help others. And that's what we do. And that's going to be really key piece in this whole solution-based plan that we are formulating here. So thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing. Like, when all the blueprints started being downloaded to me, like before I ever met any of y'all, several months prior to me meeting you guys, you know, I just kept saying, God, I want to interview people. I want to interview people. And when I say I want to interview people, I like really have an intense interest in being able to interview like ex-pimps, ex-drug dealers, ex-goons. I don't know if you guys know the meaning of goon, but you can look it up. Hitmen, all of that, you know, because these are all men that I was very close to. And I know several that were able to come out of that very gracefully and really have forgiveness for themselves, and you know, do it in a very humble manner, a very graceful manner, and they're very successful people today. And so it's going to be rough. It's going to be really rough, but you know, I think it's going to be a really amazing thing at the same time.
Yes, forgiving ourselves is definitely an important part of healing. And what Doran began this meeting with was about forgiving ourselves and about loving ourselves and forgiving others and loving others. And, you know, being apologetic, saying we're sorry for the pain that we have caused others and the pain that we have caused ourselves, and the choices that we made that created situations that were not pleasant for anybody, ourselves and others. And we have to release those past failures and remember that we are spirits living in a material world, and that we do have make mistakes. So we can only learn from our mistakes, right? Would like to jump in and say something, I invite you to.
Hello, hello.
Oh, go ahead, Jedi.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna go on a flow of just conscious, thoughts. So you go ahead first, and then I'll flow once you're done.
Ryan?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I was just saying hi. You said jump in. I'm just saying hi to everybody. I'm very happy to say hi to everybody.
Hi, Ryan. I love you, Ryan.
I just got
Oh.
like the best chuckle belly laugh out of that. It's so awesome. Hi, thank you.
Hi, ma'am. I love you.
I love you too, Torn.
I love you.
I love you too.
Carla Johnson, I love you.
Carla, I love you.
Oh, you guys are getting so mushy.
Carla, Lyra, I love you guys. Oh my goodness, I love you guys so much right now and always. It's just awesome.
Mushy.
It really is.
Mushy. You guys are just too mushy.
Oh, Ryan,
it's
you gotta
good to be
have love
mushy.
in your heart. Okay.
No, Carla's actually met me in person, and she'll tell you I don't say very much. I stand back. Like, I have a lot to say in the room, but in person, I'm always in the background. And when I do say something, it's not very much, is it, Carla?
Gotta learn to unmute. Carla, if you hover over your image, you can click on the unmute blue button.
Oh yeah, that was just you were right on target. And he didn't even know how to handle you. I'm being honest. You could see how he was trying to respond to you.
Who, the council member?
Yeah, it was the councilman's assistant, and
Oh, yeah.
he was floored by you.
Tell us more about this. What happened? When was
Yeah,
this?
tell Carla, tell.
Oh yeah, I'm interested now. Come on.
Oh, be my guest, Ryan. Go ahead.
So we meet with the councilman. I don't know if all of you have congressman's assistant, and I don't know if all of you watched the videos. But everybody was talking, lots of attention for everybody. And I said little, and then my son said some. And then Carla, like, all of a sudden came into the meeting, and she's all like, but here's the facts, and here's the statistics. And the councilman's look on his face was classic. We needed a camera. He just, like, paused it, like, she was just dropping facts for him. Truthful, honest facts. It was awesome. She had him tongue-tied.
I have noticed that when anybody, well, not anybody, okay, but it's just, a kind of weird kind of general speaking, anybody is put into a superior position. Okay, here we go. Put into a superior position that triggers a egotistical battle within themselves. Whenever somebody confronts that person in a manner with more knowledge and dignity and wisdom and guidance and experience that is not technically in a position to be in a upper position as they are, it really just blows their mind. That's almost the exact reaction I've gotten every time I've ever witnessed or experienced this myself. It like shuts the brain off. It's just complete shock. It's amazement. It's like, it's beautiful to them, but it scares the crap out of them at the same time, and it's, I could imagine, because I've seen it, and I know that was, yeah, that was very entertaining, because I can just see it happening right now. And that's what I've experienced with these guys or even women. They get on these power trips, and then somebody comes along and says something that, oh, well, the property standard says, and it's like, well, wait a minute, like, you didn't even go to college in my situation. You're not even supposed to know what a property standard is. So, yeah, I don't think there's enough of that being done, actually.
Carla could have handled that whole entire meeting with the congressman's assistant all by herself. Trust me. He didn't need us in there. He just needed her in there.
So is there any way we can train more people to, get into these meetings? Because, I mean, I think that's something that is noteworthy for sure.
Well, I thought that city councilman said that he was going to be setting up a round table. Have you heard anything about that, Ryan?
I personally haven't heard anything about that. And, I'm kind of questionable about what happened that day. And I'm going to give you a few of my reasons behind it. Is Reverend Moffitt is actually friends with that councilman's assistant. So I'm kind of, leery if this is going to get us anywhere. Does that make sense? I mean, he was interested when we opened up our mouths, but was he truly interested? Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, but there's an old saying that says it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
I think that, whether or not he knows the city council member, I think that's our foot in the door.
Yeah. I just hope that they are listening, especially to, I had my son there that day and you heard him open up about the group home. This is
Right.
what's really happening, and people were telling about the corruption and everything. And it could be that he was just on overload. He was taking notes. I'm just hoping that we do get that round table, because I think that round table is going to help us. I think it's going to help expose a lot of things that need to be addressed in the system.
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to hold my breath on that, because I have been barking up trees for the last 8 years. And nobody in Arizona has taken any action to stop DCS from doing what they're doing.
I dropped my whole entire CPS file at the Arizona Republic, and to all the news stations, I made copies and distributed it. And they told me they couldn't do anything about my CPS case file because, they got to talk to DCS. I didn't know DCS was their boss.
They defer to it. That's the thing. That's part of the problem that we're facing here. And
what is DPS? I apologize.
Department of Child and Family Services.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
it's Arizona's equivalent of Child Protective Services.
Well, what happened was they were CPS, and they done a lot of shady crap with prior, and to cover up their dirty deeds, they changed their names.
They did that in California too. It's no longer CPS in California. It's Department of Child Services.
You know what? You're right. It is. It's that here. It's, you know what? I just noticed that because y'all, I'm sorry to cut y'all off. I got approved for food stamps. I got approved for $9 a month for food stamps by the Department of Children and Family Services. I just thought I would interject that literally $9 a month, and they didn't give me any money for the month of June, even though I was approved in June. So I just kind of wanted to interject that in there.
May you get all the food you need for your family, Mim. I'm putting my energy towards that because everybody needs food.
I will. I know I will. God has not brought me this far to drop me or my family on their butts at this point in time. And thankfully, my children are with their grandmother, so they're good. They're fine right now. The first of the month is right around the corner, and I'll have food in the house. And the best thing is my refrigerator works, but I just wanted to throw the fact that, that's $9 a month. And when I did my application with the food stamp division, now back in 2015, going into 2016, I made the same household amount that I make now, except for I make about $5 to $6 more now. And in 2014, I was getting probably close to $500 in food stamps a month. And so now that I make $6 more, it exceeds the household maximum income for the area, and I get $9 a month. And there is something just absolutely not right about that. I'm not exactly sure what happened. And see, this is before I came in contact with you guys. I also started getting these blueprints to start going to the city council meetings around here. And that's on my goal list. That is one of the directions that I have been pulled in now for several months. And so, yeah, like that's a really big gap, guys, you know, from $500 and then you make $6 more and now you get $9. It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, we just need to transmute all of these crazy money schemes that are going on in politics and change the way things are done. And that's one of the things we're working on here, because this monetary system is bogus. It is.
It is.
There's far more people, and you know, I always question inflation. Like, how does inflation work? If there are more people in the world today, wouldn't that mean that there would be more money in the world? But because it was all made up to begin with, it's
all imaginary anyway.
yeah,
It's just a piece of
exactly.
paper.
Yep.
That's how I see it. It's all just a piece of paper. You know, you can burn it, you can poop on it, you can freaking wipe your butt with it. You know, it's all paper. In the end, it's all paper. It's no true value. And, you know, that's what our society has amounted to investing in. And, you know, that's what makes at least America go round. I mean, the rest of the world goes around with silver and gold. So, you know, I don't get it. I just don't get I don't get our system, period. It's very destructive.
Agreed. We should all be carrying around a little gold and silver too. That's important for our bodies. And, there was a meeting yesterday. No, it was the day before yesterday that I attended with Doran and the Source Network, and we were all talking about the need for these metals in our body and how they keep us healthy and balanced in our bodies when we have them. Because even just having gold and wearing it, your body assimilates some of the gold from that. And same with silver. You can put a silver coin in your shoe and it'll strengthen your immune system and help you be healthier and happier.
Oh, I have to excuse myself. I have like a lot of obligations and I got to get to them. And I want to say I appreciate your time. I appreciate you putting this together, Laura. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for being here too, Ryan. You know, it's great to have you here. We are just continuing to create more structure here and bring people to a solution-based orientation, because there's a lot of groups and a lot of radio stations out there right now listening to people's stories and broadcasting stories of the trauma and pain that parents and families have been going through for years. And that is very important, because people need to have an avenue of expression for their trauma. But, you know, here we want to bring solutions, and Carla has a lot of solutions with the Human Rights Tribunal. That's a big solution. And Doran has some solutions as well. And I have some solutions, and you have solutions. And so what we're doing here is we're coming together, discussing the solutions that we see that we can participate in to bring about this change that's going to bring families back together and everyone living a happier, healthier life. Thank you. Carla, you wanted to talk about the Human Rights Tribunal a little more. You left a link here, I see, regarding this.
Have a blessed night. I'm leaving, guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Good night. Good night, Ryan.
Good
No,
night.
I didn't really need to talk about it. I just put that in the chat in case anybody wants to share it. This is how they would sign up for the jury.
Now, is this just for the one area? This is Doran was talking about taking this like to all the states, correct?
Well, this
Eventually.
this is for child protective services in every single state.
Okay.
It's not just for one particular state.
Okay.
And the 25 great jurors, what people may not understand is that the person who puts in their affidavit and claim can also be a great juror member, but cannot preside over their own case, right?
Right. They wouldn't be able to actually, participate in their own case. Obviously, it would be a conflict of interest.
Okay.
And the other conflict of interest too is that you can't have your friends or family serving on the great jury. That would be a conflict of interest.
So it's a conflict of interest for family and friends and relatives. That's understandable. But if you are in if you're in an active CPS case, you're allowed to be on it, or would it have to have been a prior?
There, when the states step in and take our children on false allegations, that's done on fraud, right? If the allegations are not true and the state doesn't submit any evidence to prove that these parents are unfit, then that would be considered fraud.
Yes.
Okay, there is absolutely no statute of limitations on fraud. And if you look at the Declaration of Human Rights, you can also, there's also the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Everyone signed, all the states signed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So there's absolutely no immunity to someone or anyone that violates those declarations.
Wow.
See, the thing is that the Human Rights Tribunal wants to, they consider to be an organized criminal operation of child trafficking.
Yes.
That's exactly what this is. This is a huge, huge monster.
Yep.
And it goes on beyond the state government. It's the federal government.
It goes beyond that. That's gotta tie in. That's gotta tie in and like everywhere else. That's the
Well, it does go beyond that. It's organized crime, is what it is.
So Carla, I consider you a great leader just by knowing you this short time. So let's like make a strategy. Like, given more, if you were given more of a platform and more support, more teammates, what would your strategy be to make great change?
To do what, Doran?
To make great change. I just want to keep it general because you can only decide what you want to do to bring great change. There's a lot of areas that need change. So what would you do if you had the resources and the teammates to do something, to change the world?
Well, I mean, honestly, the whole world is absolutely in crisis.
Right.
But, I have a friend that has coined a phrase that our nation is only as strong as the family unit. When these states come in and they seize these children and they destroy that family unit, they're also impacting our heritage, family values, found the foundations that parents instill in their children. Most of these children that are seized by the state and placed into foster care, they become drug users, alcoholics, prostitutes. Most of them will probably wind up in prison or dead. I think we have to start to restore the family, and that would be my starting point, is to restore the family and stop our government from infringing on our rights.
So, so my thought processes are we could go towards the offices that are the problem, towards those leaders that are the problem, and we could take them out in any strategy that we want to take them out. But also, we could use international courts like this if the ITNJ is really the solution, and if we all pool our resources and we scale it out like really big, like everywhere on the planet, like really go all in to get these courts in every freaking community on the planet, then that's a great way to go at it too. Maybe we need more council court groups, in every community. Maybe we need safe spaces where we have villages where they're sovereign church status and no one can come on those lands. We'll have our own guards there, and we will just operate as our own, nation within, these lands or wherever we set them up at. So, I mean, I just don't see any limits. And if you need media reach, I would be happy to set you up with platforms through Zoom, through Facebook Live, and rally people towards a focused, conversation of what we're doing in every community across the country, as well as around the world, and how we're doing it and what the best practices are. I'd love to help you have that set up. So I just see we do need active citizenry in every village, and we need to have a good council or court system in place everywhere around the world, and we need to go to these offices and to these leaders, and we need to do what we decide is best and take them out in any way, shape, or form, and know that we're sovereign, and know that it is a corrupt business corporation. United States is a corporation, and that it's a international freaking conspiracy and elite family, BS. Like, we know all that. We're beyond that already. We're like, okay, so what are we going to do about it?
That's what we're here for right now. That's exactly what we're here for. What are we going to do?
Right, but see, I'm not sure that I really agree with the word sovereign. I mean, anybody that certainly uses that word, I have no objections. I don't happen to agree with the word sovereign, because what my foundation is that I have unalienable rights given to me by God Himself. And no man on this earth and no government has the right to take those unalienable rights away from me or infringe on them, period.
That's what sovereignty is.
Yeah.
Right, but the thing is that now the has been threatened by what they coin as sovereign citizens. What the United States of America 1781, what they do is they refer to they make reference to American nationals, because no one is born in to be an American citizen. According to the real truth, when you become a certain age, you have to apply to become a citizen of the United States. We are all residents of the states where we live. I'm a resident of Arizona. You know, you guys, whatever state you live in, you're a resident of that state. We are not citizens of the United States of America because the United States of America is a corporation that is a 10-mile radius around Washington, D.C. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Everything is a corporation. Our government is a corporation. All the research that I did on CPS, DCS in Arizona, it all comes back that they're all privately held corporations and privately held companies.
Yeah.
These are the people that are stealing our children. They're kidnapping our children, and they're selling them into sex rings, pedophile rings. They're putting them on drugs.
Test subjects.
I'm sorry?
Lab rats.
Yeah. Yeah, I did all the research on Arizona, how they use these children for lab rats.
It's atrocious.
So that would that's my platform, is to restore the family and take back our government that has stolen our freedoms.
How about like a media campaign? What if we just blast all of Arizona with like the truth of this? And then all of a sudden everybody in Arizona knows that all this. Like, what about that? Is that a focused way?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know what type of platform we would use for that.
All platforms, every social media outlet, every single person in the state, plus everybody in the world will join in this. If that's their headquarters, then we'll take them down. We'll create barnstorming in Arizona where every civic office gets taken down, burnt to the ground, kick them out, put them in jail, like whatever it takes. Like if that's the headquarters, let's do it.
Well, I don't know if violence is an answer.
I think
I
he
would-
was meaning figuratively there.
Okay.
You start with raising the consciousness of the people in the area. And once everybody raises their consciousness to this existence, basically it happens on its own. So we don't have to do anything but raise the consciousness by basically using these tools, social media, virality of social media and video, and basically like joining every Arizona group and on every social media outlet and just blasting this information to the point where every citizen in Arizona knows it all, and they then start to come together and do something about it. Whatever the people decide to do, it's up to them.
Well, I think it's important to get the news out into the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Mainstream media, absolutely refuses to report on this. They just won't.
Not
of course-
NBC. NBC's doing an investigation.
No.
Well, we all know that the media is bought and paid for by our wonderful government anyway.
Right.
You guys are probably aware that we held that demonstration, rally, get together, or whatever on the 16th, right?
Yeah, Ryan shared some photos with me.
Yeah, my daughter was actually interviewed that day, and she was on the Telemundo News channel. I couldn't find their article um, on their website, but yeah, my daughter was she, and it's like it was really meant to be because Arizona has tried to shut me and my daughter up for 8 years now. And with the mere fact that they saw my daughter and I standing there together on that news channel is absolutely, I couldn't have asked for anything more because it lets the government officials know in Arizona that we're still here and we're still fighting, and we will keep fighting until my grandsons are returned home, period.
Now,
So,
is Arizona the hub where everything is, like where these agencies and individuals behind them and the corporations behind them, is that where they're stationed, or are we talking when you talk about these businesses that are selling kids and the child trafficking that's going on, are you talking nationwide?
oh, I'm talking nationwide, absolutely nationwide. I mean, they have adoption agencies in every single state, and then they have the international adoptions. No, this is organized crime. Taking these children is organized crime, and it's happening all over the world.
Yes, yes, I agree. I've seen it going on all over the world. And one of the things that I hear on the radio quite often is they're asking for more foster families, and how they're saying that CASA representatives are enriching children's lives and representing them, making sure they get all the things they need in life. And it's like there's this programming that's going on that's advertising from CPS, Department of Children and Families, or whatever you want to call it, that is making people think that what they're doing is okay. And so I would like to see if we can be as aggressive in putting out the truth as they have been at putting out the lies.
Right, exactly, and that would be the first step is to re-educate the public in the court of public opinion by exposing this, to let the public know that CPS is not out there to protect these children. They are out there to get these children and sell them for profit in these forced adoptions. It's that simple. That's exactly what they're doing.
So do you have like it would be good to get like a social media team on this issue that would basically gather the best video proof and the best like like I don't know if you've seen like David Wolf videos, like just create like really short videos that pack so much punch and proof and then images, memes, images, like just basically a team that creates video and images and articles, and then just a social media team that makes it go viral. I think that would be a really focused way to play, and I'd be on that team of sharing the virality. You need help building this. I could build out like something to help with it too.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I mean, I'm usually on social media, primarily just Facebook.
Yeah.
That's what I use for my, to get my news and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know anything about these other options, Duran.
Just to gather videos, images, and write articles, just to get like everybody in your network, everybody here has an experience that needs to be disclosed in a way, and it at your comfort level, and you've got people that might be comfortable with disclosing as well. So we basically are calling for international disclosure of every time, and this is an area that we need to focus on. because once this is all exposed, then everybody's consciousness is upgraded, and everybody then when they start doing something about it, and they can't hide from it anymore. And it's the whole Illuminati thing is all just an old paradigm that is ready to be shed, like caterpillar sheds and becomes a butterfly. So we just have to like actually knock down the house of cards now, take action, speak our truth, stand in our power, and come together and do it as one in every community and through the internet to the whole world.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, I know Lyra, she put some stuff together for me because we were going to blast it on Facebook. But see, I'm hesitant about that because you don't really want to tell your enemies what your plans are.
Right.
So I've been real hesitant about that.
And I've been vetting people and making sure that people who I bring into the groups are not negative. I have like a tier of groups to check through to make sure people are on target and not, there are a lot of people that are trying to get information and then give you hope and then crash it all down because they're CPS spies and stuff. It's horrible.
Right, and a lot of people are trying to make a profit out of these families that are suffering by having their children taken, and offering to help people, pay me X number of dollars and I'll do this or I'll do that. I really sincerely put my faith in the Human Rights Tribunal because they want to. When was the last time? Remember how in back in the day, the courts were run by ministers. This Human Rights Tribunal is actually operated by ministers, not lawyers, not state bar attorneys. They're ministers. When the king was in office, or whatever you want to call it, when the king was overseeing the lands, it was the ministers that heard the cases, not courts or judges. These are all admiralty courts anyway. We're not lost at sea. We live on the land, and all these courts are admiralty courts. They operate in commerce, if that makes any sense.
So this is really about the higher courts of faith-based discernment then.
What do you mean?
Well, you're saying they're ministers, right?
They are all ministers. There's 7 ministers that are in the Human Rights Tribunal. Yeah.
And so are they then basing their judgment on the faith in God and God as God's world?
I believe that they do place a lot of value on the Lord. I do. I mean, they're all ministers. And where do our children come from? Exactly
what people are constantly talking about. It's like we were given the right to bear these children from God. It was not anything that any government had any control over. And there are not parents, but people out there who want to be parents that can't be parents because they're impotent or don't have the eggs or have some kind of genetic mutation that keeps them from being able to have children. And so, yes, it is very much tied right into our God-given right to have the children that we are given and that we
Right,
share.
and the state does not have the power or the authority to infringe on those God-given rights.
Agreed. All right. So that's
So,
what I wanted to make.
you know, I mean, if you really look at the picture here, who protects Child Protective Services the authority to take our children? We, the people, didn't give them that authority.
Right.
It was our legislators, the people that make the laws, the statutes, and ordinances and laws of the state. We didn't give CPS that authority.
And they make a lot of those statutes in behind closed doors, so barely anybody even gets to see what's going on until after
Exactly.
it's been done.
Yeah, so I mean, I would love to get this out there on a mass media campaign. You know, there are a lot of people out there, and they're all going 1,000 different ways. There is absolutely no consolidated. There's no consolidated front. You know, I don't know how we can bring everyone together. It's like it's going to be impossible.
Well, I once read somewhere, and I can't remember where it was, that it is more likely for a small group of people to make a big change than it is for a large group of people to make a big change in the world. And so maybe that's what we need to be focusing on as a group, a core group. The small focus that we could bring.
I think my friend told me somewhere in the Bible it only took 3% or 1% of the people to change something. I can't remember what she said.
We're already way beyond that. So really only the people that are still playing victim are the only ones that are experiencing hell on earth still.
That are playing the victims?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking, I don't want to be considered a victim in with the state taking my grandsons away from my daughter. I want to look at myself as a survivor, because victims, it puts you in a whole different category. If you're a survivor, then you're up above being that victim. And the thing is that do you want to be on the offense or do you want to be on the defense? I think I would rather be on the defense, not the offense. It's all just a matter of perception.
It's really tricky. It really is tricky because it comes down to just our thought forms and our words and what actions we've been taking or not taking. And we have beliefs that we will die if we speak our truth, like Jesus did, like Martin Luther King did, like John F. Kennedy did. That so many greats in our programming, in our history, have died. But I've been speaking impeccably with every word for 5 years and blasting out to now 8,000 Facebook groups. Tens of millions to hundreds of millions of light workers are actively working each and every day to bring a better world. So we are way beyond 1%, 3%, way beyond 144,000. We've changed the world by simply being with ourselves and doing our inner process of transmutation and clearing all that doesn't serve us and shifting our thoughts and our words to the most positive and setting intentions and visualizing our perfect reality and vibrating to a higher and higher frequency each and every day. to singing and dancing and playing and laughing, and joy, and coming together with community and bringing in a better world is with solutions and moving forward and forgiving everyone in your life and expressing every word and meditating, sleeping and meditating and sleeping and meditating and sleeping and getting into nature and clearing out our vessel of any toxins by eating healthy and drinking clean drinking water and detoxing and detoxing what we put on our bodies, detoxing what we put in our bodies. And that includes our thoughts too. And really, it comes back to ourself and our belief that we'll get killed if we speak our truth, our belief that we'll be put in jail, our belief that we can't change the world, our belief that we're just small and we can't actually change things. We're actually the creator in a physical body, and we're sovereign, and that's the meaning of it. So, and your child is it's hard to believe, but like everything in creation is perfect. Everything is in perfect divine order. Everything is source, playing out an experience. So therefore, your child chose to come in and fulfill this purpose for you to have an experience. So it just has to come back to self and really taking care of self and going through this inner transformation, shifting our thought forms and our words and taking action when we feel guided to take action without fear, without hesitation. And we're all in this together. It is heaven on earth, and it is now. And many, many people on the planet are already experiencing it. And millions of people are already experiencing it. So we're just waiting for everybody to cross over the bridge. We're just here as guides, angels. We're helping each other cross that bridge into heaven on earth, which is a heart transformation. That's all it is. It's just a heart transformation. So, yeah, there's no limits. There's no barriers. There's no blocks. It's all self-created. So I challenge you to do what you feel is right when you feel the right moment to do so. And I hope that, something, I've said has helped you today.
I'm not really sure I understood all that, but I just know in my heart of hearts that I have been asked to do this, and I'm doing this, and I have no fear.
Awesome.
Thank you, Carla. And if you go to the link that I put into the chat, it takes you to the Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families and to the Human Rights Tribunal directions how you can get involved with the Human Rights Tribunal as a Great Germ member. And that's at coalitionforprotection.com. That's the number 4 /human-rights-tribunal-.html. And I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight in this advocate meeting. And we're going to share some of the information publicly, but not all of it, because there's some personal information that doesn't need to be exposed.
Yeah, please don't.
Right, exactly. That's why we don't put this on Facebook live stream or any other live stream technology, because we want to make sure that people have the freedom to express themselves without people making judgments and taking it to the court or whatever. So thank you all for coming tonight. And thank you, Carla, again for your clarifications. I hope that the parents who had questions about the Human Rights Tribunal and what they're all about are appeased with your answers and more well-informed.
I wish more people attended this meeting tonight. So,
Well, we just keep on plugging away. I think I was a little late on posting it. I have been working on a lot of different projects, so I do apologize for that. But
mhm.
if we keep this up every week, the idea is to have this every week so that people become interested and want to join in and ask questions and stay on focus here. It's not easy for a lot of people though, because a lot of people are still in that victim mode. It's hard to get out of that mode.
Right. Well, Lyra, she has my contact information, Duran. Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me see here.
Yeah, add me. We do shows every morning, 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. We do meditation hour, 9 a.m. Pacific, and then 10 a.m. we do shows where like this. We come together with like-minded individuals that are working to bring in a better world. So
You're with Inspire Unity Movement?
I'm with so many movements, with all the movements.
Okay.
I've got the
Um,
I've got the Source or Source Network, which is focused how to complete paradise on Earth in the next month.
okay, well, I see a page that says Duran Kutash. It says Sovereign Keys, ASC. It looks like I already sent you a friend's request. I don't know when.
All right, let me accept that now. Awesome.
Oh, did you add me already, or?
I'm doing it right now.
I think a lot of people are still also a little embarrassed to come on here and talk about things because, not everybody has as much information as you do, and them. I have some information, and Doran has lots of information too, and it's difficult to come into a group and be able to admit that you don't know it all. But I don't know it all, so let me be the first to say it.
Right, but the thing is that we have to set a precedence. We have to set a precedence to make these states stop kidnapping our children
I agree.
and selling them.
Absolutely, and I like this. I like the Human Rights Tribunal. I sent out invitations for people to join up, and
Yeah,
I try to keep it low key though.
I know. Yeah, I had got a list from the registrar at the government, the United States of America, 1781, and she sent me a list of all the state residents and all of the American nationals, and I emailed all of them, and I actually got I think 2 responses.
Wow.
You know,
Incredible.
yeah, I know.
Well, I hope that you can join in the morning meetings with Doran. Sometimes I'm able to make it, and sometimes I'm not. And we will keep on having this Saturday meeting from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. And, the more people that consistently show up, the more people will want to come and learn and talk.
Yeah.
I think that, and this is a really good format. I feel, because everybody gets a chance to talk, and we can actually pass a virtual talking stick around.
Well, now that Duran and I are finally friends on Facebook, I don't know. Let me know. I'm pretty busy with my son right now, my oldest son, and I'm still, trying to get members to sign up for the great jury. So those are my 2 challenges right now.
Well, keep coming to this meeting. I'm sure we can get you more great juror members this way.
Come on our
Okay.
show.
And then come on the other show too. I'm
I just
sure that.
posted that on your wall, and I posted a link that has the schedule for all of our shows. But
Where did you post it out?
right on your wall, right in the middle there.
Oh, on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, let me. All right, I think I'm frozen.
You didn't post on mine. What do you?
Oh, you want that on your wall too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
What about me?
What about me?
What about my wall? What about my Facebook? Hey.
Okay, I'm trying to go to my Facebook page here real quick while I got you guys on the phone.
I
All
got.
right, let's see. The source?
Yeah.
No. What is that? I missed. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This source is creating a global. Okay, so do I just click on this link?
Yeah, I put our broadcast schedule is on that link. Not the source.network website, but I put it under it in a little comment. I put a link that has our broadcast schedule on it.
Okay, that's what I meant. I just clicked the link there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if it'll pull up. What is your audience?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, do you broadcast in how many states, how many countries?
We go live every day. We have about 2,000 views around the world every time we broadcast. But then the ASC Keith Collective show is getting about 6,000 views every show. But we've been doing it for like 3 or 4 months, getting 2,000 views every show for like 3 or 4 months. And we're getting technology set up to be able to hit millions of people here every hour as we scale out our 24/7 network and use technology to reach everybody. So it's really meant to be the source of all conscious movements to bring in a better world. And we're just helping everyone remember right now that we're all one and we're all creators, and we're putting together all our resources, and we're all working on the one project left, completing Paradise on Earth, building out the resource-based economic system for the planet. We're launching new currencies that are backed by all that is good and all of the humanitarian projects that will get funded in the next few months. So just show up on our shows and keep an eye on my Facebook wall, and you'll be plugged in with tons of people like yourself that are active and that are working to bring them together.
Okay, so are all these your shows?
What do you mean? They're all the source, and it's all of us, and they're yes, they all are.
I'll just say that whenever I met Doran, has it only been a month or has it been 2 months now? Because it seems like it's been forever, but it really hadn't been too long. I guess about a month and a half or so. And I just, like, all of a sudden one day, the live feed came up, and I was like, well, let me check it out. And I got on, and I think we went literally from like 3 viewers, and we've had like up to like 2.1 thousand viewers or something now, something like that.
Yeah, you went through a lot of shifts in your life, and you stepped into power in all areas.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Lyra, too. Oh my
So you
goodness.
just catch the link on your Facebook page?
Yeah, we go live on my Facebook wall at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every day with meditation hours first. And then at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we all go into the show and we all introduce ourselves, let each other know who we are, what's going on in our life, what projects we're working on. And we're all a network globally, so we're all connected to every movement on the planet. 1 degree of separation to every movement on the planet, basically. So we're just speaking to be the source of all movements for the whole planetary shift, and we're getting better at that. So everything should happen next few months.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would want to be on the Facebook Live.
Well, you can always be on this one, Carla, because this one is not live. And like I said before, we do edit it before publishing any information.
Okay.
And
You could
always
also
change your name and hide your picture when you come on our shows, and just talk about what you do feel comfortable talking about.
Oh. Oh, yeah, I could do that, couldn't I?
you could even just watch it and just like be in the comment section while other people are watching it on the Facebook walls. You know, that's always an option also.
It's a transformative experience every day. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Transformers.
I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I just want to, I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing at the right time.
You are.
Yeah. You are. That's right. And you know, I'm doing a bake sale, you guys. I make baked goods every day pretty much now, and it's for the, you know, raising money for the great work. This is what I believe is the great work. The great work of bringing heaven to earth again and creating the reality that we all want to be in. And the different pieces of the puzzle that we each bring to the great work, our own personal great works. And so, yeah, check out derbeliciousbliss.com for baked goodies.
Oh. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it a night. It was nice meeting you, Duran. And
Me too.
all right, we'll just take it a day at a time and see what we can do.
Perfect.
Yep. Thank you, Carla.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, Carla.
Night.
Love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.